Hello, welcome to 30-Minute Mindfulness. Today I thought we would talk about saying yes until the answer is no. So, what do I mean by that? Well, I hear all the time clients that are in my office and they're saying like things, what if this happens? What if that happens? I'm trying to decide what the next step is. What's best for me? I'm discerning whether I should make a career change or maybe go back to school, but what if it's the wrong thing? What if I don't like it? I really think I would, but what if? And they get caught with all these what ifs. We can get stuck in thinking about all the possibilities or the problems that could go wrong. And that's a circular inner dialogue. So awareness of the potential problems that could go wrong, we want to have awareness, but we don't want to get we don't want to get stuck in the thinking of what if, thinking about those problems and possibilities. That gets circular. There'll never be a time when there is not what ifs. What ifs will always exist. There will always be an unknown. So how do we continue to take action and move towards our goals even when we don't know for sure that this is the right decision? Well, first of all, we're never going to know for sure that anything is the right decision, right? We're never going to know that this is absolutely an ironclad deal. When we know for sure, we're not in a new situation, meaning we're not thinking any differently, and we'll get the same results out of life. So if you want to change things in your life, you have to step into the unknown. And yes, that is scary at times. It's scary a lot of the time. But that's the deal. We have to get uncomfortable to change our current trajectory. It's always scary to step into the unknown, and this is where courage propels us forward amidst our fear. The fear doesn't go away. We just push past it in order to grow, to expand, to change. Wayne Dyer says, "It's in the unknown where miracles happen." So when we stop the what if thinking, we begin to slow down our internal thoughts of fear. We stop the what ifs. When we stop the what ifs, it doesn't mean we don't plan or figure out a strategy to bring success. It means we learn, we plan, we do our best to understand, and then we know that we have blind spots walking into this uncharted territory, and we let go of the rest. And this is where saying yes until the answer is no comes into play. This little tool reminds us to stay in the present moment and keep moving forward. The what ifs live in the future, and that's where fear and anxiety live. In the present moment, there is no fear, no anxiety. There's no worry about what is to come or what could come or what possibly will be. So we say yes to what's in front of us until the answer becomes no. I want to make this change. Yes, there are many twists and turns that I cannot see from where I sit right now, but my answer is still yes. I will say yes until my answer is no. This idea makes it easier to move forward, to keep moving forward. Right now, the question is this one thing. When we say yes to that one thing and then ask the next question, if the answer is still yes, we do that next thing. So if I want to go back to school to earn a degree to become a counselor, I should ask myself, is this where my passion is? Does moving toward this goal make my heart feel like it's doing cartwheels? Yes. Okay, great. Then you take the next step. What if in 2 years I'm into the program 2 years and I realize I don't like it? That's a possibility. That's not a question you can answer right now. So you decide to answer the question you can answer. Yes, this makes me feel alive. I want to do this. If you decide in 2 years that the program isn't the right path, then what you've learned thus far becomes a stepping stone to the next open door. It's never a waste of time. It's a balancing act between being prepared and also stepping into the unknown, which by nature you cannot fully be prepared for because you don't know what's coming. It's like a pop quiz in school. Those who keep up on their reading, come to class consistently, and pay attention will most likely do well. Those who are giving kind of a half effort probably won't do well. When we are in the unknown of life, it's like a pop quiz. When we step into the unknown, we embrace our potential. We are working on embodying our highest self, and we go forth with a sense of adventure. How we show up is a choice. There's always a choice, even in dire circumstances. If you don't see the choice, keep digging, it's there. The years will pass, whether you're working on a new degree, learning something new, creating that thing you've always wanted to create, starting that new business, or whether you're watching TV. The same time passes. Who you become is your choice. So right now, this looks like a path that would bring value and meaning to my life. This choice to maybe get this new degree or start this new business. So great. Define the next step. What can you do today or this week to move toward that goal? And then get to work on that one thing. When questions arise that are too far in the future, that's your cue to reel it in. That's our cue that we are dancing with fear rather than discernment. Staying comfortable is not how we become the greatest version of who we are. If you want to create different outcomes in your life, you'll need to change your thoughts, which lead to different actions, which lead to different outcomes. Saying yes until the answer is no reminds us to see this one thing in front of us right now so we don't get overwhelmed by the 20 unknown questions that might arise. When we step forward, knowing we can always change our mind, that eases that idea that this is the biggest decision ever, that this is the most important thing ever, this is going to be such a huge commitment. We can change our mind at any time. There will always be countless what ifs in life, especially when we walk into uncharted territory. In fact, what ifs oftentimes are the cautions of our mind that keep us stuck. They keep us playing small. And this doesn't mean that I'm suggesting to take uncalculated risks, not even close. I'm saying be aware that when our inner dialogue is cautioning you to try something new because it's outside of your comfort zone, that might be resistance towards stepping into that unknown territory. Our comfort zone must be challenged in order to become the best version of who we are. An athlete doesn't show up to the arena without seasons of training that create blood and sweat. Champions are not born, they're created. So for the first workshop I ever gave, I remember driving to that location totally freaking out. The shame demons in my mind were in full swing. Who are you to be this teacher? This stuff is important to you, but nobody else cares. You're not going to help anyone. No one's going to show up. Blah, blah, blah. These shame demons were going crazy in my mind. And I was on the verge of tears. I was, I felt nauseous. But you know what I did? I kept driving. I kept driving toward that workshop venue. I fought through it. Literally, while I was driving, I said out loud to myself, okay, shame demons, I totally hear you. You are loud and clear. You are trying to keep me safe and small. I've worked way too hard to stop now. Not today, Cupcake, not today. And then I tried my best to turn the page. Now, during that it was a 5-week, series. So during that series, these shame demons would arise all the time. In fact, they would arise while I was in dialogue with a person. Somebody would be sharing their story and the shame demon would say, you're in way over your head. You can't help these people. What's going on? Who do you think you are? All of that would arise. And I would just say, not today, Cupcake, not today. And I would bring my attention back to the present moment, back to the person who was sharing their story. So through that experience, yeah, it was difficult as could be. It was really hard. But I became more proficient as a teacher. I learned to clarify my subject matter. I became a better coach. I gained deeper wisdom and resilience. I became a better version of who I'm ultimately becoming. I pushed my edge further out. That edge, that place where it's scary, that place where we feel like we're going to fall off that psychological cliff. I walked to that edge and I sat with it. And as a result, I pushed my edge further out. And now when I look back, it's like these kind of workshops are comfortable for me, and it's cool to see that growth. And that's what happens to all of us as we step toward that edge. We say yes until the answer is no, and we push that edge further out. And those things that were difficult become less difficult over time after we face head on those shame demons that rise up in our thinking, in our nonstop ticker bar of thoughts that happen in our mind. So if I would have been caught by the what ifs, I would have turned my car around and I would have called in sick. What if they don't like me? What if no one resonates with what I'm saying? What if I fail? What if I'm nervous and I don't make sense to anyone? What if I stumble through my material? What if someone asks me a question and I don't know the answer? Wallowing in those questions would have stopped me from saying yes. But life is not about being comfortable. When we're comfortable, we're thinking the same thoughts, which creates the same outcomes. When we push the edge into the unknown, that's where miracles happen. So we say yes until the answer is no. So with that, I invite you to close your eyes and let's sit for about 15 minutes or so. And I will ring the bell at the end of our meditation. So find a posture that's upright but not rigid. Something that's comfortable. Strong back, soft front. And just take a couple deep breaths to bring you present to this moment. Now remember, in mindfulness, it's not an absence of thought. It's just the act of mindfulness is just the realization that I'm lost in a thought. And I just come back to my breath. I let that breath simply serve as that anchor, that gentle reminder of the present moment, that in and out becomes a sort of refuge. There's no what ifs. There's no anxiety. There's no fear when I come back to the breath. As we sit in this present moment, just allow anything that arises. Is there a situation in your life where you're feeling resistance, or you're not saying yes because of the what ifs in life, because of the unknown that's 5 steps down the road? Is there a situation in your life that comes up for you when we consider these ideas? When you consider that resistance or that push to say no, where is it that you feel that push in your body? Does it feel knots in your tummy or tightness? Where is it that you feel that resistance, that pushback? Every action and reaction that we have is it's trying to solve a need. It's trying to meet a need. So as you hold that resistance or that pushback against saying yes, what is that resistance trying to keep you safe from? Or what is that resistance stopping you from seeing or feeling? It could be the pain of betrayal, the possibility of failure. It could be the fear of being vulnerable, stepping out and showing what's really inside. What is it that pushback is trying to protect you from? It can be very uncomfortable to look at the places where we feel resistance or pushback and just gently walk toward that edge and just sit with it, knowing that that discomfort it's normal. It happens to all of us. And we're not going to fall off the cliff. We're just walking towards it. We're just creating an awareness around what that pushback is trying to protect us from. What's underneath? What else? What else propels resistance in your life? What else propels this sense of not venturing out past this comfort zone? Is there a fear underneath that? Now, is it possible to allow whatever is arising, to notice that it's there, to allow its presence, and then just let it wisp away, let the wind carry that away like a cloud dissipating on a windy day. Just and as we come back to our breath, that present moment awareness, is it possible to consider there are many questions that we don't know the answers to. There are many possibilities. And our job is to ask this one question right in front of us and say yes until the answer is no. So what's one question that you can ask yourself today to forward that evolution of you becoming the best version of who you are? What's that next step for you? Just one question, one thing, today or this week. So is it possible now to just sit with that one thing and say yes, without considering the many other things that might arise after, but just stay present with that one thing in this moment? Mental health is 1,000 good decisions a day. It's 1,001 things a day. We just take this one thing right now, in this moment. So the more self-awareness we have about our own inner workings, the more control we have over our reactions and our interpretations of what happens outside of us. The more we can focus on this present moment awareness, the more self-awareness we'll have. That's our checkpoint. We come back to the breath, and in that breath, it's like asking ourselves, what's going on for me? What's alive in me? What's real for me right now? And where do I feel it? Do I feel it in my tummy? Do I feel it in my throat? Maybe in my shoulders? It's important to ground into the feeling in our body, because that's also a ground to the present moment. And the more present moment awareness we have, the more power we have to change our life, the more self-aware we become. I'll ring the bell in just a couple minutes, so let's just come back to our breath for the last few minutes. Just focus on that in and out, that rise and fall. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next week. As always, I love your comments and feedback. So if you have any suggestions for other topics, they are welcome in the comment section. Thank you so much.